Most people think self-awareness is a good thing, and usually it is. But there's a point where awareness stops helping you and starts trapping you. You begin analyzing everything you do while you're doing it. Every conversation, every reaction, every emotion. You notice your tone, your facial expressions, the way people respond to you. And after a while, your mind stops feeling like a place you live in and starts feeling like a room you're constantly being watched inside. What's strange is that people who are too aware often look calm from the outside, intelligent, thoughtful, emotionally mature, but internally they're exhausted. Because when your brain is always observing itself, it rarely gets to rest. Sign 1. You overanalyze your own emotions while you're feeling them. Most people simply experience emotions, but highly self-aware people tend to step outside the emotion and examine it in real time. You're upset, but instead of just feeling upset, part of your brain immediately asks, "Why am I reacting like this?" Then another part starts evaluating whether the reaction is reasonable. Then another part compares it to how you reacted in the past. So instead of one emotional experience, you end up having 3 or 4 mental conversations at the same time. Psychologists sometimes connect this to excessive self-monitoring. It's when the brain becomes so focused on understanding itself that it interrupts the natural emotional process. And ironically, this can make emotions last longer, because emotions usually need movement, but overanalysis keeps them mentally frozen. You're not just sad anymore. You're studying the sadness. Sign 2. You struggle to act naturally around other people. People who are too aware often notice social dynamics that others completely miss. Tiny pauses in conversation, changes in tone, micro-reactions, the energy shift after saying something slightly wrong. At first, this seems useful. You become emotionally perceptive, more socially intelligent, but eventually the awareness becomes excessive. You stop speaking freely because part of your attention is always tracking how you're being perceived. And this creates a strange split in your personality. There's the version of you participating in the conversation, and the version silently observing yourself from the outside. That's why some highly aware people feel socially drained even after normal interactions. Not because the interaction was bad, but because their brain never stopped processing it. One of the lesser-known effects of this is delayed authenticity. You become so careful about how you come across that your real reactions start arriving late. Sometimes hours late. You leave a conversation and suddenly think, "That's what I actually wanted to say." Sign 3. You constantly question your own motives. This is one of the most mentally exhausting parts of extreme self-awareness. You do something kind for someone, then immediately wonder if you did it for validation. You work hard on a goal, then question whether it's driven by passion or insecurity. Even your good qualities start feeling suspicious to you. The problem is that awareness without balance creates distrust toward yourself. You stop accepting your actions at face value because your mind assumes there must always be a deeper explanation hiding underneath. And yes, self-reflection is healthy, but endless self-interrogation isn't. Human behavior is rarely pure. Most decisions come from mixed motives. That's normal. but overly aware people often hold themselves to impossible psychological standards. They want complete emotional certainty before they feel allowed to trust themselves, which almost never happens. Sign 4. You feel mentally tired even when nothing is happening. This confuses a lot of people. From the outside, your life might not even look stressful, but internally your brain is constantly active. You replay conversations, you predict future scenarios, you analyze your habits, you notice patterns in people, you reflect on your reactions, you think about how you think, and because this happens automatically, you may not even realize how mentally overstimulated you are. Research around rumination shows that the brain can become stuck in repetitive self-focused thought loops, especially in people who are highly introspective. The mind starts treating every experience like a problem to solve instead of something to simply live through. And over time, this creates a quiet kind of exhaustion that sleep alone doesn't fix. Sign 5. You find it hard to feel fully present. Too much awareness often pulls people out of the moment. You're at dinner with friends, but part of your attention is analyzing the interaction. You're listening to music, but your mind starts reflecting on why certain lyrics affect you emotionally. Even during happy moments, there's sometimes a layer of observation separating you from the experience itself. It's like your brain keeps turning life into commentary, and this is where excessive awareness becomes limiting. Because understanding life is not the same as experiencing it. Some things are meant to be felt before they're explained. The interesting thing is that highly aware people are often very intelligent emotionally. They notice patterns early. They understand nuance. They see contradictions that other people ignore. But intelligence can become hypervigilance when the mind never stops scanning. Real psychological balance isn't about becoming less aware. It's about knowing when awareness is useful and when it's becoming interferent. Sometimes your mind doesn't need another interpretation. Sometimes it just needs permission to exist without being examined every second. And for people who are too aware, that's usually the hardest thing to learn.